Things just took a major turn as the Edmonton Oilers are set to play the LA Kings in the first round yet again, but this year is completely different from what we've witnessed in the previous season. So we're going to break down all this, our predictions going in, who the key players are, and what this series is going to bring later on this episode. Before we get into that, if you're not subscribed yet and you're part of the 91% watching this, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button. We'll be here all season long into the playoffs and into the offseason, giving you updates from all around the NHL that you're not going to want to miss out on. But with that, Darius, we get off straight into the first topic today, which is we're yet again seeing the Edmonton Oilers and the LA Kings playing each other in the first round. This year, the head-to-head matchups, you can pause and you can read through this. The Oilers are 1-2-1 against the LA Kings in their 4 games this year. I'm going to kind of toss it to you, and we'll look at the outside of the Edmonton Oilers. What's your thoughts on just the Oilers dealing with so much right now? Right now, obviously, we see Darnell Nurse going to get a suspension. We see from Darren Dreger maybe 1 game. We know their top defenseman is currently out. What are your thoughts of the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Kings?
Well, first of all, can you believe this is the 4th time that this is going to happen in the last 4 years? They really played out the whole season again just to say, let's run it back in the first round again. But things are different this year. I think the Edmonton Oilers, personally, I love Connor McDavid. I think he's the best player in the National Hockey League, and I think the Oilers have built a very good team, but they let a lot of really good players go last offseason, and I think that this is a different team than we saw last year. And I think the LA Kings, we'll get to them later in the video, are also a much different team that we've seen previous, adding guys who actually played on the Oilers last year, like Warren Foegele. But I think that the Oilers, like you alluded to, had a tough time beating the Kings this year, and, one time recently didn't even score a goal against them. Darcy Kuemper's been great as well. But the Oilers have, had a good season, but I think that this team is going to struggle this time around. They are a much different team. Dylan Holloway no longer on the team. Broberg, letting these guys go, I think was a huge mistake. And yes, they added some other bodies. Jeff Skinner has been playing great as of late, but we don't know if he's a playoff performer. We have no idea. He's never played in the playoffs in his 15-year career. This is the first time he's going to play in the playoffs, so we have no idea what he's going to bring to the table. Connor McDavid just came back from an injury. He looks pretty good. Draisaitl as well, just in time for the playoffs. But like you alluded to, they could potentially be without Darnell Nurse. He might get suspended. There is, speculation that it will only be 1 game. But Stuart Skinner, the other Skinner, could be a problem as well. He has not been good recently, and the Oilers haven't been able to outscore their problems, especially against the LA Kings with Stuart Skinner and net. He hasn't been that good. So this is going to be a huge factor. I think that this series will come down to goaltending for sure, because obviously the Kings have fixed their goaltending to a degree. With Kemper, he's been great, and I think Skinner has honestly taken a step back.
And the biggest thing is, listen, losing Ekholm is going to be a major blow for this team. And just to go into the stats of what the Oilers did versus the LA Kings this year, we know the biggest problem they had versus them with the team with Connor McDavid and Draisaitl. Now, yes, they only played 2 out of 4 games, but the biggest problem was scoring against the LA Kings. And I think it kind of goes back to the scoring the Kings have had this year. Listen, Stuart Skinner has had a very disappointing year. You can see from the stats on the screen, a 8.94 save percentage over the season, 25 wins. But the biggest problem with him is consistency. We can see 2 very good games over the last 5, but he also has basically 3 stinkers in the series. Now, Darius, just throwing it back, do you think there is a realm where maybe we see Pickard come in as a starting goaltender? Or do you think the Oilers management is dead set on just relying on their guy in Stuart Skinner?
I think that Oilers management is saying we have to have Skinner as the guy right now. Probably, a lot of it has to do with politics and name value and stuff like that to have Skinner start. But if you ask, Oilers fans, and shout out to Matt Pierce over on Oilers Digest as well, he's pretty much convinced that Pickard should be the starting goaltender heading into the playoffs and has actually put up better numbers this year, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Now, if Stuart Skinner has a couple stinkers to start the playoff series, then I could see them swapping goalies, because it either has to happen before game 3 or it's not going to happen at all. So if he does have a couple stinkers, I could see that happening. But this series is going to come down to goaltending. We know what Connor McDavid, what McDavid can do, what Draisaitl can do. Jeff Skinner's a bit of a wild card as well. The Oilers still have some offensive pieces there. Hyman, of course, losing Ekholm is going to be detrimental for them. That's going to play a big role in this series as well. But this team has beaten the Kings before. Yes, they're missing a couple pieces, and I think that will be a factor. But I think it's going to come down to goaltending because the Oilers just haven't had it this season. Again, we're going to touch on the Kings in a second, but from the Oilers' point of view, I just don't think they're as good as they were before.
And I mean, listen, we'll hop straight into the Kings side where we're seeing career years out of a lot of these guys. Kempe has been outstanding. Anže Kopitar has turned back the clock and looks like Father Time is not winning that battle. This team has really exploded this season. And I mean, looking at the overall scoring versus the Edmonton Oilers, you can see that goalie problems are happening in Edmonton. You can pause and read through. Fogle has looked outstanding versus his former team. Kempe has been awesome. Byfield has really turned the next gear on his game. But listen, we got to hop straight into the goaltending. Darcy Kuemper is looking like someone that could be nominated for the Vezina this year. Looking at his stats, a .922 save percentage, 31 wins. I believe it's 11 losses. Darcy Kuemper is going to be the X factor in this series, in my opinion, between both teams. If he has a bad series, listen, David Rittich has been a fine backup goaltender, but Darcy Kuemper is the biggest part. And I mean, I'm going to throw it to you again. What's your thoughts on just the value that Darcy Kuemper is going to bring?
It's huge for the LA Kings. They're a different team this year because of this, right? Scoring around the league is up now, like compared to 5 years ago, even a couple of years ago. League average goaltending is like a 901 save percentage. Kemper is at 922 this season. He's giving you well above league average, like borderline elite goaltending, honestly, this season. And the last couple of games, he has been very good. Obviously, one stinker in there, but he has been very good. Now, and I think that's going to translate over to the playoffs because the LA Kings, like you alluded to, have a lot of guys who've had career years this year, right? Kopitar is still playing great. Kempe is one of the most underrated players in the entire league. Quinton Byfield is that guy now. He's come into his own. He is the player that everyone expected him to be. They have a lot of really good other pieces as well. Their defense is underratedly deep as well. So I think that this is probably the year that they finally break through. They made a couple good changes. They got Warren Fogle from the Oilers. They let him walk. They ended up signing him. He has some of the most insane advanced analytics for a guy in that role in the entire NHL. So he's going to be a big factor in this series as well, and he was for the Oilers last year on their cup run. So I think that this is probably the year that they finally break through the first round, the LA Kings this is, and I think that Darcy Kuemper is going to have or play a big role in that because he's given them great goaltending. They completely fixed their goaltending, and I feel like a lot of people were laughing at the team for adding, the goaltenders that they did last year, or in the offseason, I should say, and it's worked out big time for them, and I think that he's going to be able to maybe not carry them, but be able to give them an opportunity to win games, and then your forward group can take you that much further.
And I mean, listen, looking at this forward group, they have top to bottom talent. Kuzmenko is a piece they picked up that's looking like he rejuvenated his career coming from to LA. But listen, the biggest thing is, Darius, everyone wants to know its predictions. Listen, I'm in favor of the LA Kings, but if you had to guess the series at this very moment, what would you paint the series right now? Listen, the playoff matchup shows from the regular season. The Kings are really leading in the regular season. I know it's a different beast when it gets to the playoffs, but what is your prediction for this series?
I think it's going to be super tight, and I would love to lean on the side of the Oilers, but I don't believe in their goaltending this year, and I don't believe in the depth of the team. I think they got worse since last year. I think they've gotten some pieces that can fill in the roles pretty well, considering the pieces they lost, but I just don't think they're as good of a team. I think McDavid is going to will them to a game seven, but I think ultimately the LA Kings are going to take it in seven this time. If they've played the last 4 years in a row, or this will be the fourth year in a row, the Oilers have won the other three series. At some point, something has to give, and they're going to win a series here. So I think it's them in seven.
And listen, I'm just going to go out and you can call me a hater. Listen, I love all Canadian teams, but I have the LA Kings winning the series in five. It might go to six if Stuart Skinner can turn around, or if they go with the better option in Calvin Pickard, but that's for a different video. But what's your guys' thoughts on this? What's your predictions on the series? Do you think the LA Kings are going to take this? Do you think the Edmonton Oilers, who look like a bit of an underdog coming in after making the Stanley Cup Finals, are going to win this? Let us know down in the comments. Who do you think the MVP of the series is going to be? Let us know all of it down below. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back with another episode, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark, with my co-host, Darius, and take care.